Thank you very much, and I'm glad that it's going well. So, anything to add before I jump in, Stephen? Oh, look at my title. I didn't even put title.
You know what we should do? I was looking at, we should do at the end of this, we should all have everyone type in what the title should be by the end of the call.
Oh, good idea. Okay, I'll put that back.
The title could be, I'm probably never going to log into this call again. That could be the title.
This was an hour I'll never get back.
Yeah, maybe these calls should be 15 minutes long.
All right, okay. That's perfect. That's our participants project come up with our title here today.
Excellent.
Because apparently we couldn't. Okay.
I want Aaron specifically to input on what the title should be at the end.
Okay.
Aaron, our new employee.
Uh-oh. Oh, this is good. She's private messaging me a few words here for you, Stephen. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. All right. So, some success stories from me. I started to share. Bear with me 1 second here. I apologize. I started to share some stuff from earlier, and
So bring back. I'm gonna be disruptive.
Please.
We all just got to see your desktop for a second.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Can you open? Don't close anything. Pull up whatever's in Google in Google Earth. That map.
Oh.
Is that property you just bought?
Yes. You want to see that?
Yeah,
all
tell
right.
us. That's why we're here. We're all here to buy property.
Okay. All right. Happy to share. Okay, so this happens to be what I'm looking at right now. This is one of my first things I want to share with everyone. On the way in this morning, I get a phone call. I'm at Starbucks. And the guy's saying, Jill, hey, I just want to reach out to you. You said you'd call me back, after you had some time to look at this property. Are you interested? And I'm like, I always say yes. I never say no. I always say, remind me again, what's the situation? Well, it's 2.5 acres in Kern, and I acquired it this way, whatever it was. And I said, I got his phone number, made sure I have it. And so I said, I apologize. Let me get the office and I'll look at it. So this is my map that's still open from what I was looking at today. So let me scroll out. As you can see, there's definite access. That's for sure. Mm-hmm. So and we had sent, this is a good thing to share. He's calling us from a letter that we had sent back in 2008, I want to say, or 2009, and we had offered $3,000 back then. Okay, so
what is it? What did you mention? What it is? How many acres and where it is?
2.5 acres. I'm going to show everybody. It's 2.5 acres in Kern County, California.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and as I scroll out, look at this ranch here. Look at these ranches here. Some stuff here. So there's stuff. As I scroll out even more, these are all big windmills up here. Is what that is. Super interesting. And let me scroll a little bit more because you're going to see where I got. Oh, look at this. Okay, everyone. Mojave. Okay, we're in Kern County, California. And California City. I like it.
So
Tehachapi.
off topic. I'm sorry, but it's great.
I know, but this is my acquisition today, and then I'm going to tell everybody what I'm getting it for. So as I scroll a little bit more, boom, 5 freeway. How great is that? I mean, and it's not far. So, and then Santa Clarita and ta-da, LA.
Yeah.
So this is not crazy, and I'm going to show one of the things I look at is, okay, how far is this thing from LA? 65 miles.
2.5 acres, 65 miles from Los Angeles.
Oh, and okay, let's talk about Bakersfield. 50 miles. I mean, this is not crazy. This is great stuff. So this is what I was going to tell you today.
Am I taking the wind out of your sails?
No, this is really good. So you know what? Yeah, I wasn't even going to talk about this one now that I think about it. But anyway, I acquired it today. He had another person that was reaching out to him that wanted the property. This has been bugging him, but he liked me, and we had a nice chat, and
it was
we
me.
settled. It was you.
I was the other person reaching out to him.
That would have been hilarious.
And he liked you more.
Thank you. That's probably true.
It always happens.
So, yeah. So, long story short, I'm getting it for $600. So, there you go.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. And I do have some things that I'm going to share more about this and when I get to it. But
it's a terms property all day. We should sell that on terms, and somebody really can drive right up to it and use it while they're paying it off.
Exactly.
All right. I'm sorry. I got excited and distracted you.
You are totally fine. Okay. So, success stories. What I really was going to talk about was my Grand Canyon property that I acquired this week, and my I have another multi-unit deal. Okay. I love and get excited about these multi-unit deals. It's so nice when you can buy, one deed, one seller, and one recording fee, one notary, all that great stuff, and it's just so much easier and more fun. So that's what I have going on right now. I'm so sorry.
Go ahead, Joe. I'll help. I'll type some stuff in here.
Okay, thank you. I'm not even... Okay. I am in the process of acquiring... Sorry, I want to look up some of the details on this because it's really good. Yes, I've got 1 1/4 each acre Mojave, not far from what I was just showing, Mojave, but Mojave, Arizona county properties, which I love. That's a great area, and they are right by the Grand Canyon. So I'm acquiring those. So I got 4 of them for $250 each. So $1,000 total. Love it. You guys are taking care of that? Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. So I am acquiring those. And my other success story is, what else? I have these. I've got 8 units that came in. Again, it's the same Mojave County. I'm in the process of picking up 8 1.15 acre parcels from the same woman. Happens to be in Florida, kind of passed down through the family again, and they don't want them. And right now I offered $200 each. And I'm waiting to hear back from her. And That's it. I know.
Jeez, Jill.
It's wonderful.
Hey, is anybody unclear about why multi-unit deals are so... especially when we're all starting out, multi-unit deals are the way to go because, it's one set of phone calls, it's one notary process, it's one signing situation, and it's and you get, whatever. Jill, what did you say? 8 or 9 properties in one?
8 in one and 4 in the other, and it's 2 transactions, so it's a piece of cake for me.
So it's literally like,
Thank you, Kevin.
If you only have, so much time, which we all only have so much time, and you're not all staffed up, it really is the way to go in the beginning. Mm-hmm. Plus, it really allows we don't talk about this too much. We used to talk about it all the time. What it allows you to do, too, is, let's say in this deal, Jill, you had, 8 properties, you said? You can usually recoup your cost in selling 1 or 2 properties, usually 1 for cash, completely recoup the cost of the whole deal, and then the rest of the properties you can sell on terms, kind of take your time. So come here, please. That's how you really win.
Please make sure that we're getting some background feedback, like in homes. So please make sure you've got your
please hit the mute
on mute on the upper left. Just make sure our listeners that you're on mute, except for Stephen and I, especially Aaron. Just kidding.
So if anybody's unclear about why multi-unit deals are so good, please just type it in and I'll try to explain it more clearly. So yeah, Jill,
Stephen,
you had one hell of a week. Anyway,
I did.
Oh, it's only Thursday too.
I did. I know, it's wonderful. So the other thing I wanted to share real quick was about my Hump Day special. So many of you are on my Land Stay Hump Day special list, and for anyone that doesn't know what that is, on Wednesdays I roll out it's usually something crazy. It's just a rockin' deal, a special thing. It may have been in my inventory for a while, maybe a new thing. I usually try to give it, and I try to do a good price range. Lately, I've noticed a lot of people are looking to pick up, things under $1,000 just to kind of get their feet wet and get going. So I've been focusing on those. And they've been selling. So if you're not in the loop, you could do two things. As you're building up your inventory and you want to buy some cheap property, I'm a great resource. Go to the landstay.com site. You can do two things. You can either download my full list of available properties and, thumb through that, highlight what you like, send me an email and say, Jill, let's talk. I like these 4. What kind of deal can you cut for me? Done. Or get on my Platinum Buyers Club list, which is free. Just put your email in there, and I'll see it's you, and you'll be in my loop for my specials. And I do different things. One of them is my Hump Day special, and I like it.
I just checked that list, Jill. There's more than 1,100 people that get that email on Wednesday.
There's a lot.
It wasn't that long ago that there was about 25. Remember that?
I remember when we celebrated. Ooh, we reached however many. So, yep, exactly. So that's my other thing. Well, and the other thing about this is it's a great thing to do. Who takes the pictures for the Hump Day special? Thank you, Kevin. Our staff. And some of those pictures are in your data discs that you have in the program.
That's right. You know what, Jill? Oh my gosh, you're exact. That's where I pull all those pictures.
Mm-hmm. So
we take a look at the nearest property that we've had in our inventory since quite some time ago, 15 years ago, and we use those pictures. That's exactly right. Mm-hmm. So yeah, hey Kevin, you have access to those pictures too, and as does everybody. Mm-hmm.
So what I'll do is I'll pull some pictures down from the county, some pretty pictures of the scenery, because a lot of it's real similar for that county, and then I'll put in the real maps and the real aerials. I'll pull current things for that and throw them in. So that's a really good point. And if anyone hasn't already figured this out, if you bought my Hump Day special and you want to use all those photos and all that data to cut and paste into your own advertisement, knock yourself out, please do. That's feel free. So. All
right. So let's hear. Does anyone have a good? Does anybody have a good success story they want to share?
Type it in.
You can type it in, or you can say, yeah, I want the floor.
Right.
And you can turn your mic off. No one's successful at all.
No. How about you can, yay.
All right.
Kevin ramped up to my first mailing. Fantastic.
Great.
Did it go out, Kevin, or are you have the data ready to push the button?
Wow, 2,300 is great. So 2,300 out on next Tuesday. So
that gives me goosebumps.
Yeah, me too. You don't have to do that. You don't need a calculator for that math.
Exactly.
So if you're in at 0.5 to 1%, you should be there. If you did everything, even if you did everything, you should do great. There's
nice.
A couple or 3 properties in there.
Okay, Kevin, that's a great probate. Started at 3,000, scrubbed it down to 2,300. Fantastic. Got the good ones now that are going out. Oh, that's great.
That's great.
Can't wait to hear. Kevin, you're going to be surprised at the phone calls that happen and the letters. Usually you get some letters right back, like people are signing it and saying, yes, done.
Right.
Right when it goes out. So.
Yeah, Kevin, you should see probably 2 really good solid deals out of that. I mean, I'm being super conservative, but probably 2 good properties, at least, maybe more.
Yay. And you set up Google Voice, calls not coming to my personal cell.
Good.
Well, save that phone number. Whatever phone number you choose. it still happens to me, and I think it leads a lot of credibility that when I'm talking to people from a letter from 8 years ago, my phone number, my address has not changed, and that says a lot. Mm-hmm. So the gentleman who called me today in Starbucks, he when he later shared with me that there was another person that was interested in the property, he told me that he went and did some homework on the other person, and he did not like the guy's whatever online feedback he found about this buyer. Somebody in Orange County, it didn't sit well with him. I thought that was super interesting. So our sellers do their homework, and they like to know that you're a real and a good person. Okay.
I'll answer these questions now, Jill.
Yeah, go for it.
It was very, very expensive a long time ago to set up when we set all this up, to set up an 800 number, but I just went through this. It's really interesting, Jeff, Jeff asks, is everyone or anyone using an 800 number or a local number? So I just went through this today because I had to set up an 800 number for we're releasing a new podcast. Jill and I have like a sort of a talk show that's kind of modeled. Well, it doesn't matter, but we needed an 800 number so people could call in and ask questions. And I went and literally set this thing up. I set an 800 number up. We can forward it anywhere. It's got all the bells and whistles for $9 a month. And it's called grasshopper.com. I did this like 2 hours ago, so it's really timely. Cool. I think if I had to start, well, Jill, what do you think? I mean, do you think if you had a local number, like we have, like, I guess it's 480, if you had a local area code, you think it's positive or negative, or it doesn't matter at all to somebody like in Oklahoma who's trying to sell their property?
Nowadays with our cell phones, it's the same cost, so I don't think for me, it doesn't matter. But I see Claire's doing it too. So, test it and see if you think you need it.
I mean, what message do you think it sends? That's what I'm asking you. Like, oh, they have an 800 number. They're more serious or less serious, or it's silly, or it doesn't matter at all.
I don't think it matters.
I kind of think too. I kind of think local, just a regular, area code from a local area, because it doesn't cost anything anymore. Mm-hmm. I think that kind of sends a good kind of mom and pop message. Like, yeah, we're,
I don't want to. That's the thing. I don't want to rain on anybody's parade or go against anything. So do whatever you feel comfortable with. But I like that too. There are people out there that have my real cell phone number, and you know what? It is what it is. What does that mean? It is what it is. I don't know.
Have you had to block anybody?
No.
We had to talk about that. I didn't know that. We had to talk about that later. Why do I have your cell phone number?
Well, because when I'm calling out sometimes, I forget to block my number when I'm calling from my cell phone on a potential, buyer call or seller call. I don't really like to. You like to use the office phone, but I might be out. So. And you're right. I think, and I almost think that sometimes when I call out, they know it's me. They go, "Oh, 602, that's Jill. We know that area code." So,
okay.
I'm still a fan of people noticing it's me when they call and they answer. So we haven't had an 800 number. I mean, have we? Not since I've been here, Stephen. Have you had one?
No, I
before?
Never have until about 2 hours ago, and I'm using it only specifically to take questions. Mm-hmm. We're going to use the 800 number in our show mm-hmm. to take questions so people can become a caller if their questions mm-hmm. are good stuff. That's it. That's all I'm doing it.
There you go. So yeah, everyone do whatever you feel comfortable with, but don't be afraid to put your real phone number out there or a version of it, or get a business, call it a dedicated business line, and eventually change your personal line or something. It's not crazy, and it does. I like what Stephen said. When I really think it's important. We have a real address, not a P.O. box.
Yeah.
And phone number on all of our literature, and I think that makes people feel a little bit better.
I think, Kevin, Google Voice is great. Mm-hmm. I have a Google Voice number for a bunch of stuff, and that I use for real specific things, and I've had it for a really long time, and I think it's great.
Yep.
You can't beat the price. Hey, Travis, can you define the middle of nowhere, please? You can either turn your mic off. I really want to hear the answer to this. You can turn your mic off or you can type it in.
Travis is saying I did my first mailing Oh.
Because I don't know what the middle of nowhere means.
Okay, wait, can I jump in on this? Okay, so Travis is saying, did my first mailing, 160 pieces, received 4 calls, one really funny, oh my gosh, and the other 3 thought my offer was too low for their 1-acre lots in the middle of nowhere, Arizona. Coconino County is Flagstaff. Aaron in our office just chimed in. It's gorgeous. So, hey, you know what, Travis? Of those people that said your offer was too low, hey, at least they called you. Was it something that you could work with? Could you say, all right, what are we talking? You know, are you really thinking about selling? And then let's talk about this.
Right. Like 700 instead of 5. Anyway, I'm trying to be silly. We don't.
Okay, they all wanted 2,000 to 3,000. Mm-hmm.
We don't use the phrase middle of nowhere.
It's all good.
That's why I'm trying to be silly.
Well, here's the thing with Travis's thing, 2,000 to 3,000. Okay, you know what that tells me? He did it right. Travis, if they want 2,000 to 3,000 and you offered 500, I think you did everything right.
Yeah, and it's only a matter of time till somebody signs it and sends it back.
That's exactly
what I think, Joe.
The right numbers. So They're not saying it's worth 40,000. It's worth 2 or 3. So they know it's not worth a whole lot. So you're doing it right.
Right.
So there you go.
You ever hear of a pro basketball player who doesn't get any fouls? You know, by the end of the game, they have no fouls. No. Every single great pro basketball player has between 4 and usually 5 fouls by the end of the game. So you got to get some fouls to score. Mm-hmm.
No, I think Travis is doing everything correctly. And I'm saying now you just need to work with those people and go, all right, you know, you're going to have a talk with them. They think it's worth 2,000 and you can show them, yeah, well, here's the deal. I'll give you 1,200, you know, or something like that. Whatever you think, you know. When I go to Land Watch, if you can find it for 2,500, I want to get it for less than half. So, yeah, you did great, Travis. I'm glad.
I mean, you sent out how many? 160 pieces and 4 calls so far. That doesn't count the stuff that he's going to get 6 years from now. So, yeah.
That sounds, to me, I would feel so darn good with those results right there. Now when you send out 3,000, I can't wait to hear Kevin on there.
Yeah, I really want to hear the results of that too.
So that's going to be great. All right, do you want another success or should we go on?
If anybody's got, you know, I think we could have success stories from any listener all throughout the program.
Okay.
There's no bad time for a success story. But we should move on.
Okay. So I saw Barry's note too. Thank you, Barry, about you got your test mailer going out and then you're getting ready to flip the switch. And good job. So our biggest burning question of the week that we kind of isolated in Success Plant was about the census population map. So, Stephen, can you help us with that a little bit, please?
Yeah, I think the confusion is a little bit, and I spent a lot of time on the internet on this a couple days ago because I think 3 or 4 people reached through different venues. Success Plant's one of them, about these census maps because the census.gov pulled down the stuff that's in Jill, I don't think you know this. I think they pulled down the reference that I use in the actual, in the program, in the DVD program. So, but that's no big deal. Census.gov is always updating stuff in a really good way. So I think, you do have the link here. Check that out. There's a ton of interactive maps. And then all of the maps that I referred to in the program that are per square mile population maps with a kind of an overlay of county boundaries, it's all still in Wikipedia for some reason, plastered all over the place. So it's not hard to Google it and find it. But through my travel resolving this, if you go to census.gov and look at interactive maps, I spent way too much time horsing around in census.gov a couple days ago looking at these interactive maps. There's some really good stuff.
Cool. So what other tips do you have? I had one more great tip that you had something that you mentioned you wanted to share.
Well, I think the root of this question is, and I hope it's not. Please chime in if this is a case. I think the root of it is if anyone's having a trouble finding a good county to work in, this is my fallback that I've always used, It's a cut to the chase thing. Go out on LandWatch, eBay, or any other places that you can find the kind of property that we sell, and find super cheap property. I'm going to use Deming, New Mexico as an example, which is Luna County, New Mexico. There's we all know by now probably, there's a massive subdivision there of half-acre properties that you can pick up for next to nothing. And you don't want to get stuck with too many of those because there's so many of them that you can, it's tough to sell them. You could always sell them, but it takes a really long time. So if somebody put a gun to my head and said, you got to buy some property in Luna County, New Mexico, and you got to make some money, I would find some acreage property in those super cheap areas. So I hope this makes sense. Find different, strange, good property in some of these areas where people are selling a lot of it, and you're going to rise right to the top and sell it. I bought a small subdivision in Luna County a lot of years ago. It was all 40 acres and 20 acre properties, and we sold out of it the first weekend for the exact reasons that I'm saying.
Okay.
So if you're having trouble finding a county, take a look on the internet about where people are selling it and go for the different types of property. It's hard to lose.
Very, very good tip. Yes, it does. I really, really appreciate that. Is there any questions about the census or counties? Feel free to type it in.
I love Coconino County, by the way. There's a subdivision up there called Grand States. And it's not that very close to the Grand Canyon at all. I don't know why they obviously named it for a lot of reasons, but Aaron's right. It's beautiful up there.
Steve, what do you use for screen capture? Oh, yeah. What is your...
I use a product called Skagit. Hold on, I'm going to pull it up and look at it. How do I spell it?
Will you type it in for us?
Yeah.
Please, thank you. Oh, Snagit?
Yeah, Snagit. Sorry, Snagit.
Travis is helping you.
Yeah, Snagit. There's a free version, and that free version seems to go on for quite some time. And then I think when you have to pay for it, it's about, I don't know, I think $40 or $50. But the great thing about it is it takes real simple still shots, and it also takes video, and there's no time limit for either one. And then you can save the video. I'm trying to save everybody some time here. You can save the screenshots that you're doing, like the stuff that Jill just looked at in Google Earth. You can snapshot that in Snagit and save it as the file that you're actually going to use. So trust me, it's a great product for the price.
Cool. I think you were confusing that a minute ago with Skagit, which is a county.
Jill, you got to tell that story now really quick of that lady that worked there.
Oh my gosh, Marilyn?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Don't try not to scare everybody, but geez.
Oh no, it's just this one property I was getting recorded, and it was like the recording police. If I spelt something wrong, it got returned, and it was like little silly things. It was funny, and I literally had to call this one. Her name was Marilyn, and I pretty much called her and just said, Marilyn, told her who I was, and I just said, what am I doing wrong? What do you want me to do? How, and I literally it was like, I don't know. I never went to Catholic school, but if I went to Catholic school, this is my impression of what it's like. Like, you're going to do it like this and this and this and this and this. And I want 4 copies of your business. She wanted me to print 4 copies of like our business website and mail it to her. Like, you can't look this up.
You know what I remember about her?
I'm like, okay, Marilyn. Yes, ma'am.
And she thought we were trying to record a deed fraudulently, and she called the seller. She didn't believe the prices and all that. She just thought it was just a lie.
She did. And he's like, no, this is all legit. It was so funny.
Some county officials get really protective of their land.
Yeah, it was really, really good. Okay, Claire has a question. What do you use to manage your contracts and email lists when you're building your buyer list? Oh, good question, Claire. I love Aweber. That's where I use for my emails. It goes through Aweber. I want to say $20-30 a month is what I spend. And I have a bunch of different, you can have different email groups in there for your top buyers or just, your platinum buyers, whatever clubs you want to have. It's fantastic. And it's really easy for me to set up a blast, like a broadcast, and also, you don't like AWeber, Stephen?
I love AWeber.
I'm like, whoa, hello.
For capturing, I love AWeber for building lists and capturing stuff and free ebooks and all that. I think it's a great, great product. And you know what else I love about AWeber? They constantly are doing new stuff. You know, here, try this.
Sure.
Reachmail.net is if you want to get your hands really dirty and you want to send out 17 million emails. I'm not saying this is legal or not legal. I don't know anything about that. I'm just saying Reachmail.net is an SMTP server service, and it's about $10 a month. You can send 30, 40, 50,000 emails out if that's something that you believe in. I'm not saying I do or I don't. I'm just saying Reachmail.net. I'm just saying Reachmail.net. Reachmail.net.
All right. Are you getting paid from them or what?
No, I love that. I love Reachmail.net right now.
Well, you know what? If it's not legal and you just threw them under the bus, none of us will get to use them.
Right. Yeah. If we don't have a Thursday call, if we don't have the next Thursday call, you know why.
Because the Reachmail.net police came and found us.
Because Maryland at Skagit County called Jill.
Gosh. Does it store just email, manage all kinds like buyer preferences? No, it doesn't do that. It just does email, but I have different groups in there for different things that I want. So I love them. It's a great thing, and I can set up broadcast. I have broadcasts I do periodically, and then I have like a follow-up series where people who sign up for this, the first email they get is this, and 7 days later they get this, and all the good stuff. So it's great. Whatever you end up using, Claire, it's a great thing to have, and you can take your hands off it, you know, and then you know your people are being contacted and things like that. It's really good.
I made the mistake of using, before Jill got involved in this, using MailChimp because it's free and I just wanted to try it out. I didn't know much about it, and that ended up being kind of a mistake. So, AWeber's got that great thing where someone signs up, you can send them an email once a week for the rest of the time that they're signed up with you, which I think some people overuse. But yeah, I don't think, Jill, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think that we've reached the bounds of what AWeber really has to offer in a good way. I think there's tons and tons of stuff that we don't know about yet, that it's a great service and worth the money.
Right. And as I can see, Kevin's going to make sure you're taken care of and get you out. Claire, my way is the on the level. My AWeber will reach out, make them confirm that they want to be in your email group, and then you know you're good to go. So, and I like it. I mean, there's a reason for both. There's a reason you're going to blast a bunch of people that for whatever, I'm trying to hit, I don't know, this group of people. I'm not going to say who I'm hitting and a targeting thing and why, but there's a reason I'm reaching out to all these people. But then there's a reason that I want to keep track of who are my real buyers. These people really do want to hear from me, and I need to know that. And so I need to be sure I keep, current with them. So good.
Yeah. Here, Claire, on this CRM thing, Jill, do you mind if I answer this?
Yeah, I'm not, because I'm, go ahead, because I might have a follow-up.
We use, for the most part, Salesforce, which is extremely expensive but very powerful. Jill does specifically. I don't use it. I started the company on a program called ACT. It's ACT with an exclamation point, and they're still around. And the reason that I chose them back then, and I still use them now, is because you can generate deeds. You can do a custom form right on your desktop or on the internet. Web-driven. So if Joe Smith buys a property, you can literally fill out all his stuff in fields and print a deed out and send it. So ACT is great. But the one in between, which I love, is Insightly. And you can use that for free for quite some time. It's all online. It's web enabled, and it's got a forms module also. So if I had to start right now, like you guys are, I would use Insightly.
I would too.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I was just going to say, for what I need and for Salesforce, it has a lot of things that I'm not using that I don't really need. So,
how much is Salesforce, and is it worth it, Joe?
No, it's $360.
It's not worth it, really.
No, it's $360 a year. You have to pay up front for like a user license, if you will, and I bought 2. So I spent $780, and I still only use the one. I don't.
The thing about all these CRMs is that if you outgrow them, if you outgrow Unsightly, there's going to be a bunch of money in your pocket, and that's a good thing. But you can download all the contacts and move them around. So that's good. Good
stuff. Okay, can I move on?
Yes.
I love the question, so this is great.
Yeah.
Mock deal tip from this week. So my tip from right now was just the call that I alluded to that happened to me this morning. And my kind of sales tip this week is when you talk to a potential seller and you get all the information and you're going to get back to them, and they call you before you call them back, they're hot and excited for some reason. So why is that funny?
I think it's great.
Okay.
I love it. Yeah, if they call you 3 times before you can even return the first call, I think they probably want to sell you some property.
Right. So pay attention. I mean, that's this morning. It was a, hey, are you still interested call? And I don't even think a week had passed. Well, because somebody else was bugging him, but he liked me. So so be sure when they call you again, jump on those calls. And like I said, he didn't, I couldn't tell why. He never told me earlier in the call that he was, in any hurry to sell. He's just kind of, whatever. So, and then after he decided this today on the phone call, he kind of made it his mind in his head that he was going to go with me.
Does he have your cell number, Joe?
It's very funny. Here we go again. Back to the cell number. No, he called on the office phone. Thank you very much. And it was routed to my cell. So anyway, good question. That's not why he chose me. But having said that, no, well, you know what? Hey, maybe it is. For whatever reason, he made up even talking to me, I was really upfront and honest with the guy. When I called him back today, I had a map in front of me. I was showing him when I showed on the beginning of this call, here's what I'm looking at. Sure, there's some property in the area. Sure, there's a road. It's a dirt road, and so I told him as we're negotiating the price. And as it turns out, my price was pretty close to what the other guy was offering to, but he did not like the other guy at all. And he said, well, here's the deal. He then said, well, the reason I'm doing this is because I have another guy call me this morning, as a matter of fact, and I told him that I had somebody else that might be interested and I needed to get back to them. So I think if I was under the guy, if I was close enough, he would have gone on, with me. So
what if it was a Land Academy student? The other guy. What if you beat out one of our members?
Oh, sorry. It's going to happen. No, just kidding. I don't know. That's okay. So anyway, that would have been funny. I hadn't thought about that, but you know what, Stephen? The chances of that happening are so slim, it's not even funny.
I know.
So, yeah, but all good. So that was just my tip. I didn't really want to do a role play for that, but just to say, that was a good pay attention. They're excited for some reason. Act on that. If it's a good one, act on that. So
hey, Jill, did you pass on any deals that were just marginal this week that come to mind really quickly, just for fun? And if so, why?
I'm thinking I probably I can't think of one. Can you think of one?
No, I mean, like I said, I think what happens more often than not is when you pass, they just call the next week and say, all right, what's it going to take to do it? And the heartbreak for me sometimes, or it used to be, was we can't get this done. It's mostly because of deal structure, because the person that, is supposed to sign it is, that kind of thing. They're not available, or they're in a different country, and it's not the terms of the transaction that you're passing on. You're passing on the fact that you just can't. It's too hard to do.
You know what? I have one. I'm looking at my list right now. I have one that I was looking at, and on my notes it says not great because there's 4 owners. There's 25% each, and they're all spread out. There's one in Southern California, one in Sacramento, So that is a recent one that I passed on, and that's why, because it's just like it's not worth it.
Right.
So I have too many good ones that I can pull from. So there you go.
Okay, we all see this question here. I think it's from Travis. I think Travis is viewer 12 about quarter-acre lots in New Mexico and then the septic thing, the 3 adjacent properties. I'm going to address that in the Q&A. This whole thing's like one big long hour Q&A thing, but then we do some Q&A at the end. Anyway, let me address these two programs that we're going to release within the next month or two, and then I'm going to answer the question.
Okay.
I've been talking about this turnkey land business product that we're going to offer, and the only reason we haven't released it is because our attorneys are looking at it, and they want to make sure that we've got everything where it needs to be. But long story short, it's a month-by-month product that we're going to release that takes a lot of the logistical stuff or the detail-oriented stuff about starting a real estate business, like getting a website and doing a lot of things like that. We do that for you because we've got everybody in place already. So I'm pretty excited about releasing the product. I think it can save a ton of time. It's designed to really get your phone ringing quickly and to buy and sell property as fast as possible. And then the next product is called 24-Month Millionaire. And Jill and I have gone back and forth on this for about a year, but we will release that package at the same time. It's not a package. It's kind of an in-person learning experience for a very small group of people where we start with a bunch of property and buy it and sell it by the end of the program so that everything is really up and running and smooth. And if there's any mystery at all in any of this, it takes the mystery out of it. So those two products will be released, I hope, in October. If not, it'll be before the holiday season.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, me too. I really am too. Both of these products are direct results of customer requests. They're not stuff that I dreamt up. They were customer requests.
Yay! That's going to be fun.
Oh, Travis, with the pricing, we go back and forth with that too. I'm not sure. It's not going to.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I thought it was a different question. I'm sorry.
No, we're going back and forth on this. We're looking at our costs and things like that. So, when we release them, we'll release them. I'm not sure.
Well, the 24-Month Millionaire, by the end of the time, they'll have $1 million, so they can just pay us that. So, just kidding. I
was writing just like 2 days ago. I was writing this, and at the end of that program, and the length of it is not in person that long. It's going to be a few weeks or a month, or maybe a little bit less. They will have sent out thousands and thousands and thousands of letters in person under our direction. So they will be set up to make $1 million, if not more than that, over the next however long it takes for mailers to come back to you and all that, Jill. You know how it is.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, it's not a silly name actually at all.
Mm-mm.
The only variable in the 24-Month Millionaire is how much time you really put into it. So I'm excited about both of these programs. Are going to be pretty cool.
Me too. It is. I can't wait. You kind of started to sound like an attorney there when you were talking about legal stuff.
You know why? Because I talked to attorneys especially on this turnkey land business thing for some reason. The other one, they're like, yeah, that sounds great. But the land business, for some reason, they're like, you know how attorneys are.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what if this happens? Well, what if this happens? If we sat around and said, what if this happens about everything, we would never, ever have bought the first property.
That's a beautiful comment. That is so true.
They're getting paid by the hour too, so I don't know.
Well, yeah. but you're right. At some point you just have to jump and trust and know and there you go.
Right.
Okay. So let's jump in. Do you mind if I go to the Q&A, Stephen? And we'll just start addressing some of these questions that we have in here. Okay. So you want to answer Travis's, and then we'll get to
for a lot of years I've heard this about the properties in New Mexico, and I think you're specifically referring to the RDO properties, or Real Del Oro, And so depending on who you talk to, some people say, yes, you need 0.75 acres to build on that for septic. Well, here's my thinking. And then depending on who else you speak with, that's not the case. A septic system or a septic field or a septic tank is incredibly outdated. The technology is outdated. Anybody who builds anything now doesn't put a septic tank or a septic field in any longer. There's lots of alternative ways to deal with wastewater. So, I'm not sure that rule applies, if it's even a rule. So a lot of years ago, I bought thousands and thousands and thousands, probably tens of thousands of properties in this area. And it comes up just like it is right now. It comes up once in a while, but it doesn't seem to stop anybody from buying property or using it. So to answer your question, I've heard about this for a lot of years. It doesn't seem to be a problem. So I would love to see it in writing. No one's ever been able to produce, this is in writing, I just think it's kind of a weird rumor that started a long time ago, and people just keep repeating it.
I've heard some weird ones too from like county. Someone said, I talked to so-and-so at the county and they said there's nothing out there, it's dumb or whatever. I'm like, who are you talking to? Who are they? And by the way...
Well, they use phrases like it's in the middle of nowhere.
Right. Well, yes.
Like somebody used earlier.
Right.
I'm just joking about that. No one thinks that's funny.
I was kidding. I think it's funny. I love it. You should see the blog I'm writing right now. It's talking all about the middle of nowhere. So it's
really?
Off the grid. Yeah. Off the grid. It was supposed to get it done today, but it got sidetracked because I get phone calls. So it's really, really good. Okay, wait. We have a question. Right. Okay. Anyone doing lead 10 sites for buying properties? I'm not getting it.
Where's that?
At least 10 sites? Lead generating sites for buying properties?
I'm not seeing that question, Jill. Is it in the chat?
Oh. I don't know. You know what? Lead generating sites. Charlie, you may be addressed specifically to me and not everyone, because I guess I see. But Charlie put a note here. It's lead generating sites to purchase properties.
I'm not. I've heard of this term before, lead gen, but I have not. I'm not personally aware of it. And hopefully, I'm completely missing the boat on something that's something awesome. And we
is it paying? My lead generating sites would be like, I'm paying for leads in a city for to market people for my dental. Okay.
I see.
I'm going to read the question. Charlie, hope you don't mind if I'm reading this question. Websites for lead generating for purchasing properties. Success with targeting sellers, getting leads. Sorry about this. Have you or anyone that you know have been having any success with a website targeted to sellers, getting leads that they are able to purchase? Gosh, you know what?
I know.
I'm not a fan of this.
No, I know what he means. I think please correct me if I'm wrong. I think it means you set up a website or a landing page that has a form in it that says if you want to sell your property, fill this out. We have our acquisition company, Asset Holding LLC, has that form of, and probably once every 3 or 4 times a month we get something in there.
It's true. I don't get a lot with that. Is it also too? I'm thinking, Charlie, that you make it on somebody's list. They know you have property, and you buy the list from somebody. Because I know about that in other businesses. So, and you can spend a lot of money on that stuff, and I'm just not I don't know how good they are.
I talked to Seth Williams about this, and I think we're talking about the same thing. And he has ranked from an SEO standpoint pretty high in his area where if somebody, he's from Grand Rapids, Michigan, if somebody in that area says I want to sell my land, and they type that into Google, he pops up first, and then his message is, hey, I will make you an offer on your land. Please fill all this stuff out. And then he gets an email on the back end, and it's that. And Seth has had a ton of luck with that without having to pay for the leads for some reason.
He says lists. I'm sorry, Charlie wrote no, it was lists, not necessarily leads. Okay, so here's my thoughts on this. I think, Charlie, if you want to unmute and ask us, feel free.
Yeah. Brian, I'll get to your question in a second. The answer is yes, by the way. Any program that we...
Hey, Charlie.
Hey.
Thank you very much. Okay, fill us in. We're not getting it for some reason.
You know what? I haven't figured out this join me yet and where to chat at. So I just chatted to you. I didn't know where else to chat to. But
fantastic.
But what I'm trying to do is figure out, is anyone building a website that would target people who might be looking to sell their property? And I guess my thought is kind of like those We Buy Ugly Houses.
Yeah.
And then maybe get a few leads that way that you're able to purchase instead of doing the mailers.
The answer is absolutely yes. We have, if you go to assetholdingllc.com, we have a site just like that. But it doesn't do a ton for us because I guess we don't spend a lot of time on SEO. The flip side is I know somebody else, or actually a couple of people that have done that, exactly what you're talking about, and with a lot of success. And that's exactly the model that they go after. We buy ugly houses only for land.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay, that was my question. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Charlie.
It's like a real call-in show, Jill.
I love it. We could do a radio show. This is our radio show.
Oh, it's almost time to actually title this thing. Remember we said we were going to do the title?
Dory, did we miss? I'm looking to see if we missed anybody's questions. Does anybody have any other...
Yeah, Brian, every product that we release, if you purchase the program, you'll get a direct credit for the off the price of the new program that you're interested in.
Wonderful. All right, I need a title.
Ask Aaron.
Aaron, what is your title?
Aaron in your office right now?
Aaron is in the office. Should I have Aaron pipe in and say hello? Because people are going to start seeing Aaron's name pop up. Some people are seeing.
Middle of nowhere. That's the name of the show. That gets my vote. Middle of nowhere.
Oh my goodness. Who did that? Chris. I love it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Wow. That was fantastic. Yeah.
You know, a bunch of years ago, we looked at an office building to rent, like to have office space in, and there's a little town north of us called Carefree, Arizona, and this is the address of the building. 123 Easy Street, Carefree, Arizona.
Oh my gosh.
It's kind of like this.
I love it. Middle of nowhere. Oh man, that was so funny. That's good. Mike has a question. That was so good. I have a question that I want to share, please, from Mike. Being in Ohio, seems like this is good for you, Stephen. Because of being so overpopulated, Mike sounds like he said, should I just give up on Ohio?
I'm thinking about how to politically say this correctly. Or should I just tell the truth?
Tell the truth.
I would give up on Ohio. I'll tell you what I would do, because I'm from there. I'm from Detroit. I would go straight to northern Michigan and look for property. My sister is a real estate agent in Traverse City, Michigan, and she has me in a system where anything that comes up listed for sale that is that's between 2.5 and 5 acres and listed for less than $2,000 on the MLS, she has some system where she offers $1,000 for the property. And we've actually purchased property doing that. So, and it sells, Jill, you know this, anything in northern Michigan, especially if you can even see water on the map, it sells overnight.
I've had property you sold out from under me that I really wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we saw that property like that terms property on Craigslist that weekend. And it's all terms. So I would take a property like $1,000 or $2,000 property like that you can drive right up to and put a cabin on. I would send somebody out there to take pictures on a good day. I wouldn't kind of skip over that step. And then I would post it for something like $12,000 to $15,000 with $500 down and $200 a month. And if you need help in the math, let me know. And those they sell immediately. That's what I would
sell
do.
it 4 times in a weekend.
Build up cash sales. Northern Wisconsin's great, or anything out west, where if you can buy acreage property, double and triple your money pretty quick. And then I would take all that money and do the Northern Michigan. I call it the cabin lot model. Actually, in the program, I call it the cabin lot model. It's one of my favorites. Mm-hmm. Plus, you have super, super, super happy customers, Jill, I mean, you get stories back 6 months later where whoever bought the property is taking their kids up there, they're running dirt bikes around, or, they're putting, tents or whatever, depending on the time of year. And there's so much stuff you can do. Mm-hmm. So that's what I would do in that part of the country. And then Pennsylvania, there's a lot of places too.
Claire's a Wisconsin fan. Is that okay, Stephen?
Yeah. You know what? Is
that a football rival? Hold on a moment. Go Wisconsin.
We're running out a little bit of time here, but right over the border in Canada, for some reason, the Canadian property, if you go on I bring this up in the program, if you go to the MLS, it's MLS.ca. That's the name of the website. The whole Canadian MLS is up there. If you, there's just crazy cheap property right north of the Wisconsin border.
Got it. Oh, yeah. That's in the program.
Yeah.
Thought about that. Wonderful. Okay. Should we wrap this up? It is 5:00.
Middle of nowhere. I love it.
Yes. What was my last little happy acquisitions? That was my follow-up. Middle of nowhere. Well, I guess we're all making a lot of money with middle of nowhere property, and I'm good with that.
Of all the titles, everybody on the call could have picked that. They could have been so worse than that. Like, I would have titled it, "You guys are in the wrong business."
All right. Thank you. Kevin's anxious to go have dinner. So am I. All right.
Join us next week.
Thank you.
And we'll check in on how everybody's doing then. Thanks.
Bye.
LandAcademy.com. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.